Hello and welcome, freedom fighters.
Hello, we are coming to you live from Bali.
That's right. Really good to be here. And what I love about the time zone with Bali is we can do this and then go out for dinner afterwards, which is great. So, welcome. Tonight, we're going to talk about three things you need to make
Your
$1
first
million
$1 million
in
through
real estate.
property.
Yeah, through property. And
Yeah,
we're going to try to keep it to three but there's three fundamentals. So I'll let you start, Christina, because you've got a lot of experience in this. You've been coaching real estate for a very long time.
thank you, George. Absolutely. Well, I'd like to start at the beginning, I guess. And this is where it all starts and unfolds from. Number one is mindset. And you have to have the belief in yourself and your ability that you can invest in property. But it all starts with an idea and you agreeing that you're going to take that first step and work towards that goal of getting an investment property. And you need to
Yes.
believe within yourself that you can achieve that.
Okay, well, let's talk about obstacles, right?
Sure.
There's three main obstacles that people have. Okay. Lack of resources,
Mm-hmm.
strategy, or skills. That's
Right.
the three things that people miss because that's the three things you need. So, in order to invest in property, one, you need resources, you need strategy, and you may need skills or someone with skill coaching you, right? Because you've got no skill, you're going to end up broke. Now, most people, they look at it and go, oh, it's going to be so hard. Imagine how hard it is to get the resources, then the strategy, and then the skills.
Mm.
And I'm telling you, that's the easy part, especially if you look at, what we do for people. But the biggest, hardest part of the whole thing is one thing only, and it's called fear of failure. Fear of failure.
Fear of failure.
Yes, fear of failure is the one thing that holds people back in life,
Yes.
right?
That
Um,
comes back to mindset and believing
well,
that
yeah,
you can.
yeah, it comes down to mindset, but it's
Right.
like fear of failure is the worst thing. Now, that's the big challenge people have, because obstacles come in all shapes and forms, but fear of failure is the tallest there is and the biggest. And that's the one thing. But fear of failure not only affects property investing, it affects everything in your life. You know, fear of failure. If you might be interested in someone of the opposite sex or the same sex, doesn't matter,
Mm.
and you may be fear of failure, so you're not going to approach them.
So you're too scared to even ask someone
Yeah,
out on a
but
date,
but
basically.
but they may like you. You don't know. I mean, when I met you, I asked you out, and you said no. I didn't stop, did I? I just kept going because I didn't allow fear of
No
failure to
fear of
stop.
failure there, ladies and gentlemen. Let me
No,
tell you straight out.
there was definitely no fear of failure at all. And the thing is, if
So
I had fear of,
there's different fears, but that they all relate back to that mindset. And I guess if you do have the correct mindset, that means you've got the confidence within yourself to
yes,
take the next steps to
yes,
investing.
that's right. So a lot of times, fear of failure, when people look at property, it's not just the fear of failing in property, it's the
Mm,
fear of failing in front of their friends and family.
right.
Who here is scared of failing in front of their friends and family? Because people are scared of that. And I'll
Yeah.
tell you why. It's inbuilt in us. So back in the old days, paleo days, if you did something stupid in front of the tribe, you could actually end up with no mate, no friends, no nothing.
So
So
it's a pretty
your
big deal.
your reputation, everything else, what people thought of you, in a group of 150 people, when you look at them survival every day, what they think of you is so important because if they don't like you, they'll kick out the tribe and you'll die.
Yeah. So we've
But
got that ingrained in us.
we've got it ingrained, and
Very strong.
we're all really worried about what people think about us, social media, everywhere else. Now the thing is, whatever people think of you, it doesn't matter anymore because it doesn't. Not you're not going to die if people don't like you. Actually, it won't make any difference at all these days. We live in a society that's safe, and people have this fear of failure. And
So, George, what would you say is one of the best ways for people to get the right mindset around if they want to get to their first 1 million profit through
okay,
property?
okay, the best mindset is get in the right community. I'll tell you
Okay.
what my biggest challenge was, right? My biggest challenge when I first wanted to invest in property is all the people around me were saying that's a stupid idea,
Right.
right? And people around were saying, oh, you don't know anything about investing. You're going to lose money. People
Okay.
always go out there and go, you're going to lose
So
money. The
it sounds
naysayers.
like essentially you were surrounded by naysayers.
Most people are surrounded by naysayers. It's very rare, unless you're surrounded by successful people, that people are going to go, awesome, you're investing in property. Well done, right?
Right. Yeah.
So I had to go through that. What happened is then I became successful in property,
Hmm.
and then I got in with the right people. And Claudia said they wanted you to fail. I don't think they wanted me to fail. They were projecting their fears upon me, right? Because they're thinking, God, investing is so scary. I'm too scared to do it. I'll fail. So George will fail, right? They didn't get
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
So that's
Definitely.
the thing. So because of that, that's the thing. And that fear, the best way to mitigate fear of failure is to be around a community of like-minded people. And that's part of the reason I created the Australian Property Investors, right? Because you can come here every Thursday night and during the week and post here and talk to like-minded people, people that are freedom fighters, people that want to succeed.
Yeah.
Because
Absolutely.
birds of a
With the
feather
right
flock
mindset.
together. You need to up your game. You need to start hanging out with people that have
Surround
got your
yourself
back.
with successful people.
Unfortunately, a lot of people secretly want you to fail, right?
Yeah.
So when you
Unfortunately.
do something, and when I was investing in property, a lot of people secretly wanted me to fail, right?
Interesting.
But yes, and that's
What
because
a great
it was
question. Yeah. George, I'll let you finish your sentence and then I'll
okay.
answer this
Yeah.
one.
So a lot of people secretly want you to fail. The reason they want you to fail is because it makes them feel better because they feel like failures. But successful people want you to succeed. And if you look at our community of investors,
Absolutely.
they're all positive. They got your back, and they're really motivating and get you excited about investing. You know, you go in there and see the wins, and you see other people investing and making money, and it's very exciting.
Yeah, definitely. What changed my mind? It wasn't necessarily me changing my mind about investing or getting the mindset, because I guess, I don't know if I'm quite rare or whatever, but I always knew I wanted to invest since I was like 14.
He's not
I
asking. He's
was
not
reading.
asking about that, Christina. He's not asking about that.
Oh, right.
He's asking what changed your mind to date me when you said no to me.
Oh, okay. I'm talking
Okay.
about property. Yeah. What changed my mind about dating George? Okay.
Yes, that's what
Sure.
he's asking. That's the question everyone wants to know.
Look, it's pretty rare to get out of friend zone, but every now and then it happens and people succeed.
Oh, Christina, you fell in love with me. That's what happened.
So
Okay,
anyway,
just
back
be
to my
honest.
story about how I got motivated to invest in property. So yeah, I was always reading books about investing since I was 14. I was reading about stock market, property. For me, it was just a matter of figuring out the vehicle as to what I would put my money into to multiply it and get me the returns and get me the ROI. So
Yes,
yeah,
exactly. And the thing is, I think because you helped edit my book when we first met, and I
that's
think,
right.
and
Yeah.
I think editing my book gave you a lot of confidence and motivated you to want to invest in property because
Yeah, it was one of the good books that, yeah, definitely. I mean, I read Rich Dad Poor Dad. I
yep,
read so many books on investing that it was really, you always start off with your research and that gives you the confidence. And once you feel like
that
you've
helps you with mindset. Look,
that basic knowledge and understanding.
I would say, Rich Dad Poor Dad, Think and Grow Rich, and Freedom Through Property, my book. Those three books together are really good to help with mindset and also investing.
That's right. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. That's right.
Yeah. So mindset's definitely number one. And look, we could almost do a whole session on mindset,
Yes, but we've
because there's
got
a
the
lot
other.
to unpack there. And it comes back to self-identity as well. Like, do you even identify as a property investor, or do you need to
That's
make
right.
that mental shift?
Yes, but I
If you
really
genuinely
think
don't see yourself as one, then you won't be one. You need
yes, but
to
you can't
believe
just
you are
switch.
one.
You can't just switch from one to the other. What it is a gradual process, and what needs to happen is one, you need to get educated because education takes away fear. When you become an expert in something, it's not as scary. When you understand property, it's not scary. I can do deals without even looking at a property or anything. And most of our clients can do the same thing because they're educated, they know what they're doing. But to the average person, you don't know if you're doing the right deal or not. So mindset is number one. That's the one thing to work on. The other two
Definitely.
things, we talked about three other things:
Yes. Number two,
resources, resources, strategy, and skill set. So
absolutely.
resources, I'll tell you what resources are. Resources is your wage. Resources is your equity or a deposit or your super,
Mhm.
right? That's the resources. Now, many people have got the resource to invest. They just don't realize. You know, a lot of people are sitting, you know, if you've got a mortgage, if you're listening to this right now, you've got a mortgage, right? And you've got a mortgage, you're probably sitting on equity. You're sitting on a gold mine that you could invest with, but you don't even know it. Or maybe you know it. You maybe know it, maybe you don't know it, but that's what's happening. So I'm not going to talk much about resources, but strategy and skill set, I'm going to put those things together in one because that's the third pillar.
Absolutely. That's what convinced me. George's good looks and charm.
There you go. Thank you, Christina.
100%.
Because I make you laugh. That's right. You
That's
quite
right.
frighten me.
And your
Yeah,
comedy gold, of course.
exactly.
That's what
So
we call the trifecta. Good
the
looks,
trifecta:
and
looks,
comedy skills.
was it looks, personality,
Good
and lots of
looks,
money?
charm. That didn't come into the equation.
No, but being successful is attractive, isn't it?
Good looks, charm, and comedy.
Okay, there you go. Thank you. I know trifecta. Awesome. Great.
All right, let's get back on track. Let's get back to talking about, obviously, we're talking about the resources. And like you were saying, George, equity, there's a number of ways you can get started with property investing. And more than likely, you may have one or two of those options already.
Yep. Let's talk about strategy and skills quickly before we finish because we have to go to our private group. So
Yes.
strategy, when it comes to strategy, right? Do not create your own strategy. Rule number one, because if you create your own strategy, you're going to go broke. I'll tell you why. Because you need to invent the strategy and test it, then test it again and test it again before you know it works. So
Mm,
the one thing about my strategy, the Markowski method, right, is I did it myself and I didn't invent it. I actually put it together from other strategies, but just got the best pieces. And I tested it myself and retired off it. But then what I did is I used this strategy over 3,500 times again. I've tested this strategy 3,500 times. And after testing it 3,500 times, every single person's made money.
mm,
So it's proven. You
yeah.
don't want a strategy that's not proven. You want a strategy, one, that, you know, the person teaching it, they've done it, but you want them having people that have done it as well. So if you're going to go, skydiving, you want someone that's done skydiving, but also done it with other people. Imagine this: someone said, "Oh yeah, I've done skydiving a few times," but you don't even know if they've really done it. And then you've got someone like me, and I've done skydiving myself many times, and I've helped 3,500 people skydive. How comfortable would you be skydiving with me?
Very comfortable.
Would I've had a 100% success rate?
Yeah.
Totally. And someone else goes, "Oh yeah, I've helped a few people." Not enough. Not enough.
No,
You
not
want
enough experience. You want
No,
someone who's got
when
the
it comes
experience.
to skydiving in your life, you want only the best. When it comes to property investing, you only want the best. You don't want second best in this. You know, you can get the second best TV, it's not going to make a difference. You can get the second best something else, but you don't want the second best property strategy. You want the number one property strategy. Would you agree?
Yeah, absolutely.
And the skill set happens through coaching and doing. See, what we do in our program is people join the program and we don't actually do it for you. We help you do it. So you're doing it. And as you do it, you learn. Now, this is the beautiful part about what we do and how we do it. Because in a lot of, you can go to a company, they can help you get a property. You can go to another company that can teach you how to get one, but not get you a property. But because we teach people how to do it and help them get a property at the same time, you end up with a skill set that no one can take away from you.
Yeah.
Literally, when you buy a property through with positive property, you've done all the work, you've got the skill set. So no matter what happens to that property, whether it doubles in 7 years or 10 years, who cares? And if you make 25 grand a year out of it, 50 grand a year, the thing is that skill set no one can take away from you ever again. and you can do it again.
Most
Anytime you want.
importantly, you've taken action.
Yeah. And you've got the mindset.
Implemented, not just learned, you've implemented.
That's right. So before we finish, I want to tell a quick little story.
Yeah, sure.
So when I started working out, I spent like 7 years trying to gain 7 kilos of muscle, right? Working out. And that's because trial and error. I didn't know what I was doing. And instead of hiring an expert, I did it myself. And then I hired a top professional bodybuilder and powerlifter. And he got me results in 3 months that I couldn't get in 1 year.
Wow. Big difference.
And then what happened was I sort of, lost track and didn't do a lot. And then recently this November, I started working out again, right? Now, I've gained 6 kilos since November. So that's about 6 months.
Wow.
Instead of 6 years. And the reason being is, one, muscle memory. But the main reason is I've got the skill set. I know what to eat, how many times to work out. Am I working out too much or too little? I've got that skill set. Just like property investing. If I went broke now, I could build my property empire in 2 years.
You'd easily get it all back.
Took me 5 years to get 10 properties. I think I could do that in 1 or 2 years now.
Yeah.
Easily. If I just lost everything, because I've got the skills. So getting the skills is a beautiful thing because no one can take them away from you.
Yeah, that's so true. Once you know how to do it, that gives you the confidence to know that no matter what happens in your life, you're set, you're fine, you're going to thrive.
There you go. And look, what I'd like to do is, if anyone wants a copy of my book, Freedom Pro Property, you can buy it for $20 on Amazon, or you can get it free from me. Type in #freedom, and what we'll do, our team will send you a copy of my book for free.
Perfect. Just type it in the chat below.
You can get started on your journey to property success and mindset.
Absolutely. It's a great place to start.
Absolutely.
Beautiful.
Fantastic.
We're going to head on over to our private group.
We're going to head on to the private group.
Thanks about number 2 and number 3 of the 3 things you need. So that was just number 1, ladies and gentlemen.
We spoke about number 2 and 3.
No, we haven't.
Not in depth. Okay. No worries. Okay. See you later.